Sex education should be mandatory for schools to help reduce teenage pregnancy rates and the spread of sexually transmitted diseases. Sex education is quite often misunderstood as only being or referring to teaching with regards to the act of having sex or sexual intercourse, when in fact sex education is covering a wide spectrum of topics about sexuality. Currently in the Philippine landscape, there are high instances of teenage pregnancy, namely because the Filipino youth are engaging in sexual activities mostly with no idea of the risks and consequences of such acts. With the help of sex education, teenagers will develop an open and mature minds about situations that are possible to happen. Students would also learn the effects that could possibly happen if they engage in sexual activities, and most importantly, there are lots of infinite benefits that young individuals could apply to themselves through sex education.
I would rather choose to be an introvert than extrovert because in being an introvert, I only see my own world. I don't have to show and prove anything to anyone, and with that, they won't be able to judge me and my doings. Compared to being an extrovert, I might get a lot of likes or hates, receive judge, and just make my life miserable. And I believe that spending time alone can be good for creativity, self-insight, self-development, relaxation, and spirituality. One of the most important determinants of whether time alone is a good experience or a fraught one is whether you choose to be alone. Introverts are disposed to exercising caution and deliberating thoughtful before making a decision.
So, is being in a relationship is really a distraction, especially for us students? Never in my life I heard that he or she is not distracted or unbothered every time they have a argument or a fight. They will always be distracted. They couldn't think straight, they couldn't do anything right. And also, when someone is being clingy, they tend to use the time that is supposed to be lent for their responsibilities as students and children, for their school activities and household chores, of course, but instead use it for their so-called as bebe time.
A good self-chosen hairstyle can do wonders for a student's confidence. Most pupils, especially those in high school, are at the age when they care a lot about what other people think of them. So having an appearance that they proud of will improve their self-esteem. Having self-chosen haircut can boost your confidence as student. Students will feel more comfortable when having to choose their own haircut, and they will be proud of what they would be. Choosing our own hairstyle will encourage self-expression. Developing our own unique sense of style is probably more important to us.
I am here to talk about an important issue relevant of all us, and that is peer pressure. Peer pressure is when we feel the need to conform to the expectation or behaviors of our peers. Peer pressure can be a positive or negative influence. For example, if you are trying to quit smoking and your friends are all smokers, so that is a negative peer pressure. On the other hand, your friends are all studying and you need and on the test and you need to study well, that is a positive peer pressure. So peer pressure is can constitute an indirect or direct and influence. So that's all. Thank you.
Our topic for today is about using face masks in public places are not anymore mandatory. So, using face masks are not required anymore in our society because it can increase the waste in our surroundings since we usually buy disposable. This statement is important and should be implemented because the cases of the virus has already decreased and wearing masks should be minimized in order to decrease the amount of garbages in our surroundings. Though people with symptoms of COVID-19 or has a sickness should require to use face masks in order to prevent the spreading of it. If those who are completely vaccinated are not anymore required wearing face masks, but still be careful to the people who are still in sickness should require to use face masks, especially when we go to the hospitals.
Our topic for today is revealing secret of our friends. In our generation, this rampant issue is more reliable and one of the biggest causes of misunderstanding, miscommunication, and sometimes it leads to violence from our friends and others. This issue, our feeling, is not the only one involved, but also the other party's feelings. And some other way it can cause harm to our mental health and to our body. You should be wise in choosing your circle of friends because not person can be a true friend. Most of them are just good to you when you are beneficial to them, but the truth is they might be backstabbing you. And friendship nowadays is usually ends because of betrayals. And take this as a learning experience. You'll likely meet more people in the world and will need to build your trustworthiness, sense, and use discernment when telling people things that you do not want to be shared.
So my topic is all about the internet here in Antiquera or in remote areas such as my place. Even though there is a signal, the internet is still slow and not stable. There are many people who have worked to the use of internet, and there are still students who still have online classes. And many people use the internet to contact the relatives, family, friends, or just people itself. From what I heard, the signal tower that was close to Panama was closed because of bankruptcy, and it was the reason why the internet slowed down. I have no idea whether it's fake or true. Aside from that issue, I want to talk about making the internet here faster and stable. I want to demand to the one who's in charge. I want to say that I want to make the signal towers stable so that the internet can be faster and very, very good.
Why do people like sharing or spreading fake news? Most likely happen into social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and etc. Facebook has been blamed for spreading or sharing fake news. People like sharing or spreading fake news because it's for fun for them. They other if bored, they make some fake news. They used one person, two person, or celebrate for making fake issues. But fake news are not good to us because if some people read that, maybe they spread it because they scared or afraid, and also for awareness of their loved ones and friends. But they didn't know the information they spreading are fake.